Gaming addiction is not different from any other types of addiction that are present in the human nature nowadays. Such type of addiction is not unstoppable, and these are so many ways to prevent its negative effects. In order to save its victims from misery and lack of discipline in life, a support group should be hired, although some individuals who are not yet suffering from its worst effects can handle it by themselves without the assistance of the authorities. Gaming addiction is one of the most destructing effects of the video and online games to the mental status of a person. Such type of addiction is very common to children and even to teenagers as well. It is really hard to accept the fact that the things you consider useful are the things that will also destroy your mentality. Gaming addiction has two classifications, but both classifications have similar effects to the behavior of a person. Some people call it computer addiction because it occurs in the presence of computers where several kinds of addictive video and online games are available. Some individuals call it internet addiction because most examples of games that are available in computers nowadays are connected or accessible on the internet. Gaming addiction can make a person irresponsible. Some individuals are already neglecting their responsibilities in life because of this type of addiction. Some students are no longer attending to their classes in schools and universities because of video and online games. Some workers are already losing their good performance and productivity at work because of this serious problem. Its worst effect to human beings is the fact that it can destroy the harmonious and strong relationship of a person to a family. Gaming addiction can change the overall personality and behavior of a person. Those individuals who are very kind and industrious will turn to lazy and violent individuals once exposed to several kinds of online and video games for several hours and days. It is really hard to control the negative effects of this problem. Is it possible to recognize gaming addiction? The answer to this question is a big yes. There are so many ways to determine if a person is already a victim of this type of addiction. Through comprehensive observation and a set of detailed evaluations, a person will be able to determine if an individual is already a gaming addict. Having an ability to recognize this kind of addiction can also help a person avoid its possible causes as time goes by. All people in this world should try to discover the best ways on how to discover this kind of addiction to eliminate its negative effects. Gaming addiction could be very dangerous for the mental and physical health of a person. It can cause lack of concentration and several kinds of health problems in the body and mind of a person when not properly treated. There are so many kinds of therapy for this kind of addiction that can help gaming addicts to recover faster after spending several days in rehabilitation centers and facilities of a support group. To determine if you really need a therapy for this kind of addiction, try to review all of your current behaviors as a regular user of online and video games in computers. If something looks very unusual in your behaviors, it will be the right time for you to visit a psychologist of psychiatrists to undergo an extensive therapy for this kind of addiction. Gaming addiction is equivalent to substance addiction. However, the main cause of unusual behaviors in this type of addiction is a computer or console game. Just like the other types of addiction, the victims of this condition need an extensive assistance and therapy from the authorities to achieve full recovery and great changes in their miserable lives. The first step in determining if you really need a therapy for this addiction is to observe. If you're happy while playing computer games and angry when instructed to quit from playing, it is already a sign that something is wrong with your behavior. You are at risk of gaming addiction and you need a therapy also if you cannot sleep at night because of computer games. In other words, if you are already sacrificing the most important things in your life for the sake of computer games, you definitely need a therapy for this type of addiction now. Don't wait for the time that you are no longer capable of controlling your extreme desire for computer games. If your child is already getting more violent and totally influenced with unacceptable behaviors, you have to ask for the assistance of a licensed treatment center for gaming addiction immediately to avoid the most complicated situations. It is hard to fight this kind of addiction, but quick responses and solutions can lessen its damages and negative effects in the end. It will become much easier to save the computer users from such type of addiction if the group of people that surrounds them is very responsible and capable of recognizing the early signs of gaming addiction. Gaming addiction can also destroy the life and good future of a person when the proper treatments for its negative effects were not provided immediately. Just like the other types of addiction, this problem can also make the life of an individual miserable and useless. As much as possible, its dangers must be prevented always, to eliminate the most complicated effects of this addiction. Gaming addiction grows faster as the number of computer games in the internet increases. The best way to beat gaming addiction before it starts is answer no on the questions that were given. If you do not play computer games, you will be able to fight gaming addiction. If computers and internet are not present in your home, you will never be tempted to try computer games during your holiday vacations and break hours. This is the most effective and reliable way of fighting the type of addiction that was stated. Gaming addiction is a situation wherein a person has to totally forgotten the difference of the reality to the scenes and missions that are present in computer games. It can lead you to several kinds of unacceptable behaviors that can hurt the other people. Learning to separate these games from the reality is one of the best ways of fighting the negative impacts of gaming addiction. Its procedures will be very easy to you if you don't really like computers games. However, if you are one of the gaming addicts who love to use it regularly, it will be very hard for you to separate it from reality. The only way to stop gaming addiction before it starts is to neglect computer games. If a person does not play computer games, gaming addiction won't occur in the future to cause several kinds of problems. If computers and internet are not present in your home, the people in this world will never be tempted to try computer games during their holiday vacations and break hours. This is the most effective and reliable way of fighting the type of addiction that was stated. Gaming addiction can change the overall personality and behaviors of all the individuals who use computer games for several hours every day. Those individuals who are very kind and industrious will turn to irresponsible and violent individuals once exposed to several kinds of violent and unrealistic computer games for several hours and days. It is really hard to stop or prevent the negative effects of this problem. But if people will already move to stop this kind of addiction now, there's a possibility that one of these days, the regular players of online and video games in computers will be able already to control their extreme craving for to play such games. Consider playing games as an ordinary form of entertainment that can never be treated as part of the reality. While playing computer games, be sure that you will never lose your consciousness and awareness of the significance of moral values in life. Just stay true to yourself and don't be influenced by the violent scenes and cheats that are present in computer games. If you fall into its negative effects, you will become a loser and a gaming addict who has a very miserable life. When playing computer games, do not be so serious and be responsible enough. Such types of software were created because its manufacturers believe that it will never destroy the behavior of normal human beings. Do not compare the real world to the scenes that can be found in computer games. It is true that in computer games, the players have free will to do everything that is prohibited in this world. Cheating is not prohibited in these games. Killing is not violation also in computer games. But in the real world, all of these actions are against the human rights. Don't make your life miserable because of spending too much attention and time to computer games.